So some of you caught my last live that we did on the day, I think it was election day that we did that. And we talked about some shit. And I said that, well, after the election was over, I would come back in here and talk to y'all about what the fuck is going on, what I've been seeing, what I've been recognizing, and the things that I'm observing myself, trying to wrap my mind around why we respond to things the way that we do. So we'll be talking about those things today. I got a little time. Okay. We're going to get it in a little bit. First and foremost, shout out to you, Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And now listen, yeah, the way folk been acting, we got to talk about it. And it's not even because I want to necessarily talk about it. Not, I didn't think we, and particularly black people in particular, I didn't think we respond the way that we have. Okay. It has been quite embarrassing to see how we're responding to the decision of the electoral college, which we will double down on here as we continue the electoral college decision to allow for Donald Trump to win. Okay. We're going to talk about what happened here and why Kamala lost, what happened here. And before we even have the conversation, we got to start off with this disclaimer over here. We understand that talking about politics in the realm of politics is just like announcing a WWE WrestleMania match where you have to act like this man is really jumping off the top rope and trying to kill the man that he's jumping on top of. Okay. We frame it in that space so that way we all come in on the same playing field. This shit isn't real. Okay. Do people's nose get bloody? Okay. You know what I'm saying? All right. But we understand this shit's not real. They play a game in this society. We'll get into more so as to what type of game they play and that we allow. Now, I'm going to start this off by simply giving my theory on why Kamala lost. Okay. And it's a culmination of things. Okay, things that we talked about. If you've been watching my lives throughout this, her campaigning, her being would be chosen, not she wasn't even voted in there. We talked about these things through her campaign. Okay, her being black or not debacle. Now, many of us don't see it as a big deal. It ends up being a big deal at the end of the day. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Her stance on Israel, Palestine, her completely avoiding talking to and talking about mainly the working class people here in America. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, incorporated. She talked a lot about the middle class, but never defined what the middle class was. Now, most working class people don't see themselves as middle class at all. She did not talk to middle class or working class people. She talked about the middle class. And then she liked to lean into entrepreneurship. This is these are the people that she talked to and about. Like everybody was going to be entrepreneurs out here. And that most people out here are middle class. That's not true. Okay. From my understanding of middle class, again, it very rarely is defined. You'll hear things like, well, the middle class is disappearing. Okay. And for me, is when you got to define what that is before you can tell me that it's disappearing, before you're using this type of rhetoric to cause people to go into a panic. Now we know the cost of goods have risen greatly out here. People are feeling that shit, having to work 2, 3 jobs to make ends meet. To me, as the Democratic Party tries to fashion themselves as a party of the people. This is how they were able to, I guess, galvanize people in the past. They are the people's the working class people's party. Okay. And by default, that means they are the black people's party. That's false. It's been a false notion the entire time. We've been told this time and time again. But Kamala couldn't even come out here and deal with that specifically. She was all over the place, and we heard about her middle class upbringing, what her mama did, what people's grass and lawns look like. And this lady refused to answer direct questions. Okay. This is what she was a part of. Okay. Now we know after the fact. Now, this is, hindsight. We came out, we seen the monies that she's gotten from her campaign. I think they were saying that she raised over $1 billion and now is in debt. Now, I don't know if that's an official count, but that's what the people are reporting, what the news media is reporting, is she raised over $1 billion in that short period of time, blew all the money, and is down 20 million now at this point. Okay. If you pay attention to Kamala's, campaign, I guess, strategy, it was to pay people who were already rich to come use their celebrity influence to tell people to go vote for them, to vote for Kamala because she has our best interest at heart. That's what she did with $1 billion. Now, mind you, me or you, we get $1 billion. We not going. I'm not paying rich people. If they really believed in what she was about, if they really believed that Donald Trump was such a threat to this so-called democracy, they wouldn't have been charging no bread like that. At least in my mind, if you really believe Donald Trump is a threat, which again, what you got to understand about rich people is they don't give a fuck. These entertainers and these comedians, these people that are supposed to have a big influence, they don't really give a fuck. These celebrities don't give a fuck. They're rich. Whoever's president, they're going to still be rich the whole time. The only thing that may change is the amount of taxes they pay. And we know that Donald Trump favors the rich when it comes to taxes. So them acting like they don't fuck with him is silly because they put money up top over everything anyway. That's what they do. So when I hear that Kamala was paying millions of dollars to these entertainers who acted like they really believed in what she had going on, what I know is once money is brought into a situation, you do not believe what the fuck is going on. You don't believe in Kamala's message. You don't believe in anything that she's talking about if she has to pay you millions of dollars to get you to endorse her. That's what that means. Now, this is normalized in American politics, sadly enough. This is normalized. These large, I guess, donations being brought in by campaigns as well as lobbying within the system itself, which is why I tell y'all all the time, you're not going to fix a corrupt system from the inside. You're not. The system must be destroyed. These things that don't make any sense, that would be bribery if we were doing it, this shit don't make any sense. You can't have a pure system when people can lobby, pay money to get favor or be granted favor to back a certain candidate. This is why we really believe that there is a two-party system at play here. You got Republicans Incorporated, 3Ks. You got Democrats Incorporated, 3Ks. They're corporations as well. This is why you don't hear about the other people that are on the ballot. A lot of times, Democrats, in this case, Democrats very heavily were rallying against other people being in the conversation for being president. Now, they will tell you that they believe in democracy and Donald Trump is a threat to this said democracy, but we saw some of the tactics that they were using against Jill Stein and Butch Ware. We saw some of the tactics they were using against Cornel West. We saw the tactics they're using and they make it seem like they really give a fuck about democracy. They do not. Okay? They do not give a fuck about the so-called democracy. What Kamala did was get this bread up, brag about being in bed with corporations. He went away from the Democratic playbook, at least on the surface. You don't tell everybody that you're endorsed by big banks, big corporations, or rich people. You don't tell anybody that because you got to keep the Democrat people believing that you are for the working class American. That was her fault, her campaign's fault that they did all of this, that they played these types of games. Her not being able to answer questions was out of control. Black people pressuring her because she came out here and claimed she was black. Then she dealt with that black pressure. This is a problem. Okay. This is a problem because once you start getting pressure from black people, what then happened was the Obamas showed up and decided that they were going to shame black men. This is your base. You like if we're in this political space, black men and women are your base. To try to shame black men, okay? This is the tactics that they're using. Watch Barack Obama come in and basically tell black men that y'all just don't want to see a black woman running. We saw Michelle Obama get up at I think it was a some rally Kamala had where she started talking about that black women need to be nagging their men basically and telling them to go vote for Kamala. It became a situation where black men were going to be the face of their failure. They already went on ahead and prepared for that failure and made black men the scapegoat of this. Now, some black men were privy to this. They were like, look, what the fuck are y'all trying to shame us for? We thought that this was a free process. I can vote for whoever I want, whoever I believe has my best interests at heart. What the Democratic strategy became was to shame black men. I don't think that was a good strategy at all. Instead of her dealing with the economy and what she was going to do about the economy, she did not relate to people. She sounded like a politician every time you listen to her talk. This is why you know about her middle class family and her mama. And this is why you know these things because she used the same talking points over and over and over again. I've seen some arguments that Donald Trump actually humanized himself. And I don't understand when people say Donald Trump, who is a bumbling fucking idiot, when people try to make him smart. He's not. He's not smart. He's not well spoken. I don't see that or get that vibe anything I've ever listened to Donald Trump talk about. That's just not what's going on here. When people argue that he's a better candidate or a more intelligent candidate, I automatically know that these are people who done lost their fucking mind. Okay. That man just be saying shit. Okay. He just be saying a bunch of shit, spitting out a whole bunch of vengeance and hate. And that's what his base like. So I'm not knocking the strategy. He understood his base. His base is primarily made up of a bunch of poor, lower class white people, and they can literally live off of hate. They can live off of that. They've been doing it for a long time now, where they think they're okay. As long as they can look at black people and say, well, at least I ain't no nigger, they're okay. It don't matter if they're hungry. It don't matter if they're working two, three jobs to make ends meet like everybody else. It doesn't matter if they're healthy. They don't have health insurance. It doesn't matter about their actual economic standing. Because I know we believe that all white people out here living in, eight, nine home room mansions. That's not the reality. Most of them bitches are in regular neighborhoods or trailer motherfucking parks. That's where they are. But long as they can call you a nigger, they are good with that. They don't mind that. Okay. They don't mind it at all in any type of way. All right. So Donald Trump don't have to do much at all. And if I'm remembering this correctly, Donald Trump a while back, he said if he ever runs president, he'll be a Republican because Republicans are stupid. I mean, he basically Republicans are stupid. And really what he needed to say is white people, poor, lower class white people, they're dumb. Because them bitches is racist and we ain't even the ones fucking with them. Like it don't even make no sense how fucking stupid they are. They should be anti-corporation. They should take all of their energy and be anti-corporation. Okay? That's what they should be against. Anti the bigs, big farm, big bank, big oil. They should be anti them, and that's it. That's where all they hate should go. But no, they send they hate it this way, right? That's what they do. So as Kamala decided that she was going to make black men, or not, with the Democratic Party decided it was going to make black men the scapegoat. What she then started feeling was pressure. And to me, her fatal flaw here was coming out with a black agenda. I'll say that again. To me, her fatal flaw was coming out here with a so-called black agenda. Some of you may be familiar with this. It was about 5 or 6 points that she made. Things ranging from home ownership, which she was already saying, to cryptocurrency protections, to legalizing marijuana. You remember this, right? What she did was say this was a black agenda. To me, again, to me, this is where she lost. One thing you have to understand about this country and these presidents or these CEOs that we think we're electing every 4 years, no one has ever ran on a black agenda. That is not how this shit work. Once you come out here and you say the word black, you act like you're going to be about black, you're going to lose most of the country, period. Because most of these white folk are racist. I would argue all of them are, but for the sake of this argument, I'll say most of them racist. You're going to lose most white people as soon as you say something like black agenda. This is why even when Barack, when he ran, you never heard him say anything about specifically white people or specifically black people because he knew. If you're a politician, you got to know. You're not going to be up nowhere talking about things that you're going to do for black people specifically. Now, we understand if you read through this, it wasn't for black people specifically, but it was deemed a black agenda. She fucked up. I don't know whether it's that she don't realize how racist this country is because it was her, in her opinion, that this wasn't a racist nation. There are some racist people, like maybe 5 or 6 racists, right? This is what they're trying to do to us. It's about 5 or 6 racists out here. Y'all just be acting like they everywhere, and they're really not. Well, they are. And you don't get to say shit like black agenda. No president has ever said it that I've ever heard or studied, period. She's the first one to do that. I have to say that. I mean, we just gotta be real about the situation. When she came out here acting like she was gonna specifically do something for black people, it was a wrap. That's one thing white people are not going for. You're not going to do anything specifically for black people in any type of way whatsoever. Now, mind you, they're dumb. So everything she said wouldn't benefit just black people. And I think that she even alluded to that before when we heard her speech where she said, am I going to come out here and do something for just black people? No. She had a better chance running with that rhetoric than then buckling under the pressure that black people was putting on her for her to come out here and develop a black agenda. No other president has ever done that. It doesn't happen at all. No presidential, at least the campaigning part. Now, mind you, had she gotten to the White House and, and then start talking like that, it'd be a little different. But beforehand, this country is that racist. It just is. That's something that we don't like to deal with. It's something that we've been shamed into not talking about at every level. I mean, any situation where racism is very present, we've been shamed into not talking about it. We allow for these things to work on us. When she came out here and talking about a fucking black agenda, she was cooked. She was cooked. I don't give a damn if it wasn't but 5 or 6 things on there. She was cooked right then because white people are not going for that at all. If they was to poll the country right now and see who all is for reparations, what you'll see is that white people are now for black people getting anything specifically for black people. What they will allow is for programs to be created under the guise that black people are the sole proprietor or sole beneficiary of it, i.e., the welfare system, which white bitches make up the largest amount of the recipients of the welfare benefits. They will give you something like that and try to put your face on it after the fact and try to shame you. But something specifically, if welfare was just for black people, it wouldn't exist. It would not exist at all in any type of way. There is nothing that exists that's just for black people. Not one thing. Even the so-called affirmative action, even as though they're calling it DEI, it's none of that is for black people. It benefits white bitches more than it benefits anybody black. It just does. That's what affirmative action has done. It benefits white bitches more than it benefits anybody black. Those are the facts. That's the truth. Anything specifically black, you better not even fucking mention, especially if you're running a campaign. This is on top of everything else that they already really wasn't feeling her. She came out here talking about she was a black woman. That was an issue. Her being a woman, period, another issue. Okay, so I'm not trying to minimize these things, but when she came out here with a black agenda, it was a wrap. I don't know who told her to do that. I know that black people were pressuring her, but what she didn't understand is that black people vote Democrat no matter what. Democrats can ignore black people, not pay black people no attention. Democrats can even sign into law a crime bill that directly affects them. We still vote Democrat, and that was y'all's first black president, Bill Clinton. What she didn't understand is that black people have this weird affection for the Democratic Party, no matter whether the Democratic Party do anything for black people or not. Doesn't matter. We think the Democratic Party has those programs in place that benefit black people. We have really fallen for that trick. That's what we fell for. She didn't know where the fuck she was. That's all I can think that who the fuck told her to come out here with a black agenda? And black people might have been saying that shit, but that's not, it's just not a smart way to campaign in a country that is mostly white. It's not a smart way. Even white so-called Democrats do not fuck with no black agenda. No. So I'm gonna take her. No. That's not who they are. You don't get to come out here and talk specifically to black people and win no campaign at least at a presidential level. And I would argue at every level, but at a presidential level, you don't win over this nation talking about black. You don't. You can win over this nation shaming black. You can win over this nation claiming that black people are out here eating cats and dogs. Nobody. You can win over a nation like that. You can shame black people. Okay. Start talking about how you can be tough on crime, which is basically tough on black people. You can talk like that, but when you come out here, you act like you're going to specifically do something that favors black people. It's a wrap. I don't care what nobody else say. Now, again, I think all these other things factored in as well. I think all these other things factored in as well. But to me, that right there is the straw. That right there, her having a black agenda, not realizing how racist America is, because we watched her interview talk about how non-racist, this ain't no racist shit going on out here. Right? That's what she said. She didn't understand. Somebody should talk to her. And her being a Democrat and them not understanding racism, systemic and otherwise, is something that we really should look at. How the fuck can we expect these people to have our best interests at heart and they don't even understand racism? They don't even know where the fuck they are. They don't even know where they are. So when people ask me or say shit to me like, well, nigga, you ain't gonna vote? No, these motherfuckers don't even know where the fuck they are. They don't know our position in the system. They lie about our position in the system. They downplay our position in the system. They downplay it. What the fuck I look like voting for these people that don't even know where the fuck they are or who I am as a black man? They don't even know us. What they do is they campaign to our most silliest, ideologies, i.e., celebrity worship. That's what she leaned into with her campaign. That's how she ran through that billion. She leaned into celebrity worship. Now, I'm not saying that's not I understand why she would do that. I look at black people every day and I really don't know what the fuck going on with niggas. I'm confused every day at the level in which we worship celebrities and that's normal. So I understand what angle she came in on, but it wasn't enough. She lost a lot of her base by shaming black men. Then white people really wasn't fucking with no black agenda at all. Now, of course, she carried black women, but all she did was talk about abortion rights. One of the problems that we have when we deal with abortion rights, and I've said this before, is we make it all about the abortion, not the other types of care that women receive under this reproductive rights, guys, under that umbrella. It's not just abortion. She ran and ran and ran and ran just on abortion. That wasn't going to be enough. That wasn't going to be enough. She needed to do more, and she didn't. She was not able to galvanize enough white people to her side because black people aren't enough. I don't know. I think we got like a I think we may have a little bit of a Napoleon complex, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We talk about short motherfuckers having it. I think maybe we got a little bit of a Napoleon complex. We really be beating our chest like we big shit. We really be beating our chest like we are big shit out here in the political space. That people really got to come and campaign for our votes. It's not necessarily true when you look at it mathematically. There's no way. I don't understand us when we think about our numbers. I don't give a damn how many you think it is. You don't got more numbers than them white folk. You just don't. That's just mathematical. There's nothing emotional there. It's just math. And we got a fucking Napoleon complex. We do. We really, really do. And because we have that Napoleon complex, because they've made us feel like we're so important to this voting process, we take that shit to heart. We be feeling real important come election time, right? So you really thinking they give a fuck about what we going through out here? And they don't. They'll send you Meg, they'll send you Beyonce, they'll send you DL Hughley, they'll send you these fucking clowns and puppets to make you believe that you matter. And they really need your vote. But we don't know how many black people serve on the electoral college. Do we? Does anybody? I posted the other day and I gave a challenge to black people, or not just black people. I mean, anybody that saw the post, that we don't even know who the electoral college members are in our own states. We don't see their faces. They don't get blamed on TV. Black men get blamed. The so-called Hispanics men get blamed, men and women. Those clowns, of course, they're going to vote for Trump. They think they're white, and they are. Like it's Hispanic ain't a race. I know y'all. Look, this shit's so fucked up out here. Y'all really y'all believe in the Hispanics. Y'all made up the black and brown coalition. You did that on your own, black people. Nobody asked you to do it. You do that on your own. And then you're gonna be sitting around them out. I mean, the Hispanics is dumb voting for Trump. They're white. Them speaking Spanish don't change them being white. Okay? There are white Hispanics, black Hispanics, mixed Hispanics. Them white ones that y'all be talking about, they think they're white. That's really they are. Like Hispanic is a culture at best. That's not a race. That's a culture at best. These so-called Hispanics have the same ideas, the same mentalities as the whites because they are white. They just no habla inglés. That's really the only no habla. Don't let them bitches como te llamo you into believing they ain't white. They are. And they have a very anti-black mentality, which makes them culturally white too, if you ask me. Because that's what white culture is built off of, anti-blackness. Thus, the so-called Hispanics, their culture built on anti-blackness as well, that gives them, they get close enough to white. They can know habla, si, senor. You know, they can do all that bullshit they want to. It doesn't fucking matter. They still anti-black. Okay. And sadly enough, that is really all. We talked about that on my last time. That's all the caves need. They don't need you to, I mean, come be anti-black. They'll take anybody. They'll take anybody. To them people voting in their own deportation, I don't think that's what's happening here. They're looking at the ones that's coming in illegally and they like, man, fuck them. Fuck them people. They don't give a fuck about them. To them, they're illegals. It's almost like how white people treat white trash. To the so-called Hispanics, the people that's coming in illegally, them is Mexican trash, Hispanic trash, or whatever the fuck you want to call. To them, they came to America the right way. They don't give a fuck about these illegals. So how are you? I don't know how we were shocked by Hispanics voting for. This is a man that ran the build a wall campaign the first time he came around here. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Kamala lost this shit fair and square. She gotta take her little L and go sit down somewhere. Okay. Now Trump in here. Okay. Now y'all got to deal with Trump. And see, that don't worry me none. But what I saw black people doing, what I saw black people doing when Trump won, the crying, being dramatic, talking about being back in slavery, all the racist things that Trump was going to do or is going to do, how races are now going to be emboldened by Trump. Y'all said the same shit in 2016. And the thing about that to me is I don't really give a fuck about racists being emboldened. Like, that's not something that I worry about because I'm ready to bang at all times. When we sit around and show how scared we are, do you know a part of your fear feeds their racism? Y'all don't realize that yet? They feed off of you being afraid, and you keep doing it. And to me, that is to me, it's embarrassing. When I see black people act like that, I don't even understand it. I don't give a fuck. Let them bitches be brave. I'm here. I'm ready. It's okay. It is okay. To me, I don't look at Trump as a racism mascot. Again, when we talk like that, because I argue that Kamala doesn't know where she is when she says that racism ain't real, when she didn't understand what would happen if she came out here and made a black agenda. She don't know where she had, therefore she can't represent me at all. I wouldn't give a fuck who it was. She don't know where she is. She don't understand where the mentality of the white people out here, right? In the same in the same vein, the same idea. When people say that Trump is a mascot for racist, that blow when black people talk like this, oh yeah, they gonna get worse. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you saying that? Are you just repeating something that you heard? These racists need nothing to be so-called emboldened. They've been anti-you the whole time. They don't need nothing to be emboldened by. They don't need that. You think they need that. They don't. And history should have shown you they don't need a fucking mascot. It's their culture. Like, what the fuck are you talking about when you say they're gonna get braver? And then you act like, well, okay, if they just gonna get braver, you can't get braver too? Is that the problem here? You a fucking coward? Because that's what I see. I mean, that's what I've deduced based on all this is y'all niggas is cowards. And I've been saying this shit for a while now. Who gives a fuck if they get emboldened? You get bold too. Huh? What emboldens you? If we're gonna claim that Trump emboldens them, what do you got? What do you need? I got my ancestors, I got the history. That's all I need. I'm emboldened every day, ready for a motherfucker to come in my face on some stupid shit. Ready. I don't need much. What do we need? Religion ain't working for you niggas. That ain't working. Y'all need something else. Praying to Jesus about Donald Trump. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, what is wrong with y'all? I don't understand that. We gonna give it in the hands of the Lord. Y'all leave it in the hands of the Lord. Oh my God. What is wrong with us? As a unit, as a team, not us. You know what I'm saying? But what the fuck is wrong? Y'all scared as fuck at all times. at all times, afraid. And then when your Jesus don't or God don't do what he should have did on the pre-prayer, I don't know. It's very weird the order of this shit. So if your God was real and didn't want Donald Trump to run or be the president, then he probably would have died when he got shot at, right? So that didn't happen. So and then okay, Kamala gonna beat him in a fair race. Okay, that didn't happen. You prayed for all of this to happen. Okay, prayed on his downfall the whole time. Now, when none of your prayers don't work, then you get to come out on the other side like, well, we just gonna leave it in God's hands. It must be His plan. What the fuck? It's just it's an endless cycle of stupidity and ridiculousness. And y'all crying. When I thought, here's what I thought. When I saw that Trump, he won this shit, right? And I started seeing all the videos of black people crying and doing all this extra ass shit. I'm sitting here looking at this shit like, what these niggas, they don't understand power. And I think that due to religion, you can't understand power because you give your power to an outside entity. You get your power from an outside entity. Y'all don't understand power. Because even though Democrats lost, there are 40 million registered Democrats. More registered Democrats than there are registered Republicans. Your army bigger than theirs in real life, right? Now, I'm not saying all those registered Democrats went out to vote, right? Not saying that. But when it comes to standing up for what you believe in, you got 40 million people on your side. 40 million. Most of them probably praying to that same guy, y'all praying for strength and all this other shit. You got the numbers mathematically. What are you afraid of? Right? That be the part I don't understand. It's like we choose fear even when fear is irrelevant. Even when it's not a practical solution to a problem, we'll choose fear. Choose fear, throw it in God's hand. This is what y'all think y'all was gonna do about Trump. Just pray. Just pray. Now it's in God's hands. Okay. Okay. And this what y'all, I don't understand. And we see Donald Trump is out here doing some stuff right now, as it is. He's talking about giving reparations to white people. And I'm talking about when I see the comments on this type of stuff, I'm like, well, why don't niggas understand? Like, of course he will. I mean, this is last term to run. This is last term. He already ran 4 years. He did 2016, 2020. This is last term. So of course he will give reparations to white people because of the DEI college practices. He's talking about all the students that were affected by the DEI in college admissions. All those people want to be basically owed compensation, reparations to white people. I ain't mad at the motherfucker. I don't. I saw that and I laughed. Like, man, okay, I see what the fuck going on, and that was okay with me. I don't give a fuck one way or another. I think that's our problem. We give a fuck too much. We do. We give a fuck too much about shit that really don't. You never have to lay down for anything you don't want to be imposed on you. You never have to. You we don't understand power. We're confused about power. You don't have to lay down. You don't have to do what somebody's telling you to do because they write it into laws. They showed you that when they ran up on the Capitol on January the 6th. Who gives a fuck? White people don't give a fuck nothing about no laws. When they feel like somebody's imposing on their freedoms, they just ride. That's what they do. And I'm not saying that they always right or whatever, but I understand the energy. The energy makes sense. What the fuck you gotta be scared of? Get your people together. Y'all mad? You too? You mad? You mad? Me too. I'm mad. You and what about you? You got some people you can call that's mad too? Okay, then we gonna ride. That's it. That's power. You start moving. I thought when I saw Donald Trump win this thing, I saw black people getting into this hissy fist crying and shit. I thought that this okay, I said maybe this will focus niggas. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this will focus niggas. Maybe we'll start being more interested in black power, black pride. Maybe we'll start doing that as a way to fight against anti-blackness. We'll lean into pro-blackness. That's what I thought. I had high hopes. You know, I said maybe these niggas will take these tears and come together, be on the same team, black men and black women, for the sake of our black children, right? Be on the same team. No, that's not what I'm saying. Do you know that niggas is still out here talking about 50-50? Y'all know that? That's a sad state of affairs. Niggas is still out here talking about 50-50. If I was her, I'd leave him. This is all y'all niggas want to talk about all day, every day. If it was you, what you would do. Celebrity relationships, stalking celebrities, everything that they do in their private lives. Like, what the fuck? So y'all telling me you get on the internet and cry about Trump winning. It doesn't galvanize you into moving towards your people. Okay, we got to put this bullshit to the side. We really need to come together now and take care of this shit and figure out what the fuck going on out here. How we going to move forward? That's not what we do. It's not what we've been doing. I'm seeing black people still have these same dumbass conversations about relationships every single day. Y'all stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Like, stop fucking playing with me. Y'all were so serious about Kamala winning and women's rights and all this old shit. Y'all was so serious about all of that. She loses. Y'all talking about 50-50. Men and women engaging in relationship discourse pretty much every single day. We're not serious about real liberation. We're just not. And that's not me saying it because I'm happy about it. That's just me saying because this is just based on my observation. There's no way. Look at what the fuck the conversations are consistent of. Just look. Take a second. Kiki Palmer done made her way back. Cam Newton and whatever his baby mama, whatever the fuck going on with them, that's the conversation. This Dr. Brian, whoever that woman is, that sits around, I think talking to Nick Cannon sometime or some shit like that. This is the stuff that we talking about. Huh? But y'all was online crying about Trump winning, like y'all was just crying about this shit. Y'all was just crying about this shit. And here we are. Here we are. Here we are. As Donald Trump has now, I think they won the House. They have the House now. They have the Senate. They, of course, got the presidency in the bag. And when they won the House, what it should beg to question is that, well, who had the House before? Hmm. And see, that's not a question I'm seeing being asked. Okay, if the Republicans just won it, who had it before? Who's had it the last 4 years while Biden was in there and Biden and Harris was in it? Who had it in? Or was it 50-50? I mean, this is a real question. Like, if the Republicans won it, who had it before that? Who had it when Biden was in there? Anybody know? Anybody care to try to make sense of it? Because I'm looking at this shit like, well, okay, they won it. I mean, that don't mean shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do the same shit they are. They're gonna be pro corporation. I mean, this is what they're gonna do. And if you think they're gonna stop funding Israel, you out your damn mind. Trump is going to most definitely continue to fund Israel, but they're going to lean into corporations. You know, the EPA probably gonna be wiped out of here. They don't give a fuck about wildlife, the environment, trees, all that shit. Yeah, that shit's gone. They never did though, right? So what's happening now is the mask is gone, not the reality of this. Because we understand the reality of this is that they've been able to pollute, and as long as it's in the on the same mission as making money, as long as they're doing that to make money, this government don't give a fuck. This is why these people pay fines and don't go to prison. This is why. That doesn't change. The Republicans come in there and just take the mask off. This is really the only difference. I mean, I don't like the fact that we make it seem like it's so wholly different. No, his mask is off. That's all. That's all. Mask is off. This is why people can, I mean, decimate entire environments. I mean, you go in the store and steal $30, $40 worth of groceries because you're hungry. You going to jail. A motherfucker can literally pollute an ocean, like pollute a lake, fuck up a whole ecosystem, and they pay a fine. And send some motherfuckers out there to quote unquote clean it up. Come on now. This is regardless of who is in office. Okay? Understand that shit don't matter. Trump didn't just take their mask off. The Republicans, they just mask off type people. And that's okay with me. I don't have a problem with that. That's almost like people being mad about Twitter being racist. I'm like, it ain't Twitter that's racist. It's white people that's racist. What is wrong with y'all? It's so silly. Like, I, I think something's wrong with, I don't think we pay attention close enough. Oh, Twitter is racist. Like wherever white people are, it's them that's racist. And they should be able to express that racism freely. I support that. I'm with that. I have no issue with that. I think I saw that Donald Trump was doing something about people being banned or being censored, so to speak, over their content. We've talked about this several times. I ain't mad about that. I mean, it's Trump doing it, but I ain't mad about that. I don't do the censoring and shit anyway. That's why I'm not monetized at all. You know, I'm not doing all of that, but I think that'll be good for people. Because why do we have to, when you create all these fake ass realities, I think this is what causes the problem. I think this is why a lot of times people don't understand where we are is because the reality is being made fake. Now you got to censor yourself. Like now you got to say fake shit. And I don't understand why we like that so much. Black people love fake, white acceptance. We love it. It's one of my most favorite things in the world, if you ask me, based on our history. We love fake white acceptance. That's our favorite shit. Racists will claim that it's chicken. Racists will claim that it's fried chicken, right? No, 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 no. I think it's fake white acceptance. Long as white people ain't talking racist to you, then you can convince yourself that they're not racist, and that can make you feel better about being like them, acting like them, talking like them, being your romantic relationships even made up like theirs. Everything it makes you feel better about biting their style. I think that's why we do it. I can't think of no other logical explanation. Like, y'all want white people to be forced or shamed into not being racist. And I don't think they should be forced or shamed into not being who they are. I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech. Firm. Don't give a fuck. Because I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want anyway. I want everybody to be able to say whatever the fuck they want to say. I don't have an issue with that. White people being racist never caused me to toss and turn in my sleep. I've been sleeping good all my life. Never caused me to toss and turn in my sleep the way these niggas be acting. Oh, I can't stand it. They just over there letting them people be racist. They're not letting them. That's who they are. What have y'all been studying? I mean, that's my question to black people. What have we been studying? We don't understand how racist these people are. How we don't understand how racist these people are. We just gotta understand that. No matter how hard you try for it not to be, it just is what it is, right? I mean, whoa, 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 hold on, wait. This lady on here. Hold on, let me see this. I've never heard this before. This is a very interesting comment. American Holocaust survivor says you sound scared. The one thing I've noticed about scared people is they rely on fake avatars. That's the first layer of fakeness that they use when they're cowards. There's no way you saying I sound scared. That's crazy. I'm not gonna take that as you even being serious. I've never heard that before in my life. That I sound scared. That's crazy, ma'am or sir. I don't know what you are at this point. I think it's a doll is your avatar, but that's like, come on, yo, come on, yo. We out here. All right. We out here. Like, don't come here talking about I'm scared. You have to prove it to me. You have to prove that I'm afraid. And I'll give you space to do that. And anybody want to comment that may have some issue with what I've said so far. I've been on 50 minutes. I've been running my damn mouth. Anybody has any disagreements or, any wild shit to say, we here. Let's go. Let's do it. If that's what y'all want to do. Trump supporters, come on, pile in. Let's see what you got. Because I really ain't said nothing about y'all other than y'all dumb. But that's not, I don't want you to feel that's not a personal jab at you. I just think you're dumb because if you think Donald Trump is smart, then I think you're dumb. If you think he'd be spitting bars, then I think you're dumb. That's just, it's not personal. That's just what I gotta believe because I've listened to him talk. That's just coming from me listening to him. That's like people that if you believe Kamala was so smart and intelligent, now she's not much smarter. She do a better job with her words. She's running around questions. She can't answer questions. I mean, anybody listening to her and taking her serious, they're dumb too. So here we are. Here I am in the middle, looking at Democrats saying they dumb, looking at Republicans saying they dumb, and then who won't smoke? Let's do that. If y'all want to do that, we ain't did it in a while, right? We ain't did it in a while. Let's do that. I've been trying to be calm. I've been letting people coon in peace. I don't bother nobody. I let y'all get through the election thing. Basically, I didn't really even say much. I mean, I post on my Facebook and Instagram and shit like that, but I ain't been bothering nobody. It's been a while. It's been a while. Maybe y'all think some bullshit going on with me. So we'll deal with some of these comments. If you have an issue, if you got some shit you want to say as I continue through the commentary, and I'm going to stop, but if you got something to say, I'll actually pay attention to some of these comments and see. Um, what anybody has to say. American Holocaust survivors, you're going to come here and prove how I sound scared. That's a crazy take. I've never heard that before in my life, but I'm willing to hear you out and tell me how uh, I sound scared. I think I'm wonder as far as courage is concerned. Like, please, I don't understand fear. I don't even get fear. I really don't. I have a hard time relating to people because I don't understand fear fully. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way. I've been called all types of, I, I got mental problems. I'm partially sociopathic. I don't even understand fear. So you gotta talk to me. Let me tell me what's going on. Put me up on game. I'm on here scared and shit. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. But the argument that Donald Trump is about to do something great for the country is a terrible argument for a working class person to have. Now, if you are rich, you can make that argument. If you Elon Musk and some of these guys, you can make the argument that he about to do something good for you. But if you are a working class citizen, I don't know what you think Donald Trump is about to do for you. Now he gonna show you, you know. He goes, but I don't even see what people think he's about to do. Even if he levels out the prices, let's say he's able to do something about inflation, there's still a problem with livable wage out here. There's still a problem with health insurance out here. There's still a problem to me with all insurance companies. All them bitches are a scam. There's still very glaring issues and problems. And not only rich buying the houses up, marking them bitches up, making rent high as fuck. It's real shit going on out here. So even if you bring down the cost of eggs and milk and bread, okay, I mean, that's cool. I'm not saying that's not a thing. But if it's fucked up everywhere else, what does it matter? People are having to work too much to live comfortably, if you ask me. But I'm always on the side of the working class people, right? People are having to work too much just to make ends meet. That's before shit got high. The shit got high has been a distraction. Again, I think they can come out here and lower, again, prices of groceries, and maybe everybody will think that there's a win there. And I'm not saying there isn't a win, but it's not the victory. That's just a small, like a battle in a war. Like this shit's fucked up out here for real. It's fucked up on every level for real. But the rich keep getting richer. So based on no matter how the economy is doing, no matter how the prices of stuff are, the rich keep getting richer. So, and that's whether the president is Democrat, that's whether the president is Republican. So that says something. That means something. That working class people are working their ass off at all times, but the rich keep getting richer, regardless of who's in office. That says a lot. It should say a lot. I guess I'll say. I can't say it actually does, but it should. This is live, Risky Rich. This is live. Risky Rich says, I'd rather be called a dumb rich man versus a smart poor person. That's a no brainer. I understand why you think that, Risky Rich. You were raised in a system of capitalism. So I understand why you think that. I understand completely. Capitalism, I mean, I think is really affected uh, our people. This is why I mean, we do anything for money. That's what makes us that's one of the things that makes us a weak people. We'll sell out ourselves, we'll sell out our families, we'll sell out our entire being for money. We will. We most definitely will. We'll do it. But you were raised in a capitalist system just like I was. Now, it just so happens I can step outside of the capitalist system and see exactly what it is and how it puts human life at the very bottom. Because me being a rich man, and and then us having, and I'll say this nation. I won't just make it about me as an individual. I'll say us being supposed to be a rich nation in this world on this earth. I question then why we have so many homeless people. Record number now. Again, you may not care, Risky Rich. You may not give a fuck because you care about money more than anything else. And I understand that. That's the system you was raised in. But I see that as a problem, as a big problem, that people out here are homeless as fuck. Everybody in this nation doesn't have clean water at all. Water's still fucked up, right? I see those things as problems. I see those things as big problems. Rich people don't see those things as problems. And if you don't believe me, you just look at the rich, see what they do. They're probably more interested in taking a space shuttle to the fucking moon than they are giving a fuck about everybody having clean drinking water. There being enough food and shelter that nobody in this country, not a first world superpower nation, nobody in this country is hungry at all. Nobody's outside dying from hypothermia in the winter, if we even have winters anymore. With the way they talk about this global warming shit, maybe it'd be summer all goddamn year round. Don't know. But these things are the rules of capitalism. You can't give a fuck about none of that and be a capitalist at the same time. You just can't. They don't work in. Uh, they just don't work in that same space. They just don't. MPZ says three candidates had reparations on their platform. Why didn't we back them? Trump just proposed giving restitution, aka reparations to white. You must have just got here. I just talked about him giving reparations to whites. What was the end game of any black person voting for Trump? Now you have to ask them. That's a question for black people voting for Trump. I'll tell you what they've been saying, but I can't speak to them directly. They basically said that they had more money when Donald Trump was in office. That's it. That's all. There's nothing deep there. That's it. That is all. They had more money because things were cheaper when Donald Trump was in office. So, you know, that's what I've heard them say. But the three people who backed reparations, they weren't even on all the ballots because the Democratic Party made sure to get people's names taken off ballots. They really did. The Cornel West, they did that to him a lot, actually, and Jill Stein and Butch Ware. They was taking their names off of ballots. And your argument, what has to Your argument is based on the premise that democracy is real. And that's a problem too. Democracy isn't real. It wouldn't matter if black people voted for them people or not. We need to be dealing with who is the electoral college. I want that to be a conversation that comes out of this conversation. Because the first time Donald Trump won the presidency, he lost the popular vote. Now this time he won the popular vote. Okay. The first time he lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton. Excuse me. First time he lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton, he still won the presidency because of the electoral college, right? My question is, who is the electoral college? Who are these people? Where are they? Why are they faces plastered all over the place? Why aren't political pundits on NBC, MSNBC, CNN, Fox? Why aren't these media conglomerates talking about these people? Why don't they get full profiles? And these people are they are a very significant piece of the population, particularly when it comes to the time to vote for the president. These people's names and faces should be, known. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, anyway, I'll say they should be known, but they're not. If you try to go look, you're gonna be hard pressed. I done did it. Like you're gonna be hard pressed to find out who is the electoral college. What I can tell you, based on what I understand about this country, is most of the electoral college is a bunch of old white folk. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. A bunch of old white folk. So when we deal with the present aspect of this country, of this nation, we deal with the fact that you're getting Kamala raising over $1 billion, losing it all to wasting the money on bullshit. But you have to be able to galvanize people to give you money before you can even be considered as one of these lesser of two evils. One of these two evils, you gotta raise that bread up. Once that bread comes into the situation, I don't think anybody can be pure in that situation. I think it taints the entire process. Truth First 313 says Black Chick was mad at me because I didn't vote. Then tried to loop me into this gender war nonsense saying I don't like black women. I'm like, bitch, I got two beautiful black daughters. Listen, what you have to understand about the black chick you're talking about is that she fell for the propaganda. The propaganda was being waged again by Michelle Obama, by Barack Obama, by the Democratic Party, the people that was out here saying that shit. She fell for that. So she weak. When you're dealing with a woman or a man, I would argue, that don't have any defense against propaganda, they're gonna make your life a living hell, especially when it comes to political conversations. They're gonna make your life a living hell, okay? Because they believe everything that's being said is true. They will use that shaming tactics because they know it's effective. If you tell a black man he don't like black women, it automatically makes him want to defend himself and prove that he does. That's what a man's gonna want to do. Like, "Bitch, what you talking about? Like you said, I got two daughters. What the fuck you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? A man's gonna want to prove himself. So they know that that's a human reaction to that type of claim. So they understand how that shit works. It don't work on everybody, but it works on enough of us for it to be effective. But that woman is not built to deal with propaganda at all. Not think for herself at all. That's a sheep you dealing with. That's a sheep you dealing with. CJ Rich says, well, I must have voted for the couch like me. Couldn't bring myself to cast a vote for red or blue. I did not gang bang. Been rocking with you for at least 14 years. Salute. Mad love to you, Brother Rich, for being here all this time. It means you've seen me become the person that is talking to you today. You watched me become this. So mad love to you for that. I have no interest in voting whatsoever. I understand what the system is. So for me, voting for a couch, I understand when people say that, but the entire system is fucked up. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. There's no point in voting. I really don't see the point of it at all, especially on a presidential level. Now I can make some other arguments, even on your mayors and your senators and all this old shit. I can make arguments against those too. But right now we're dealing with presidential level. There is really no fucking point at all in us voting into that system. I've been saying for years, if we mad about something, we want something to happen. Like let's say universal health care. Everybody complains about healthcare. We want universal health care. What we've been saying is, for example, we've been saying it, and you can go vote for a candidate that's maybe promising you some shit like that. Okay, let's say Trump was doing it, which I know he's not, but just for example, he can come out here and campaign on it. He gonna run universal health care. I think Bernie Sanders did that when he ran back in the day. The Democratic Party did. Bernie fucked up back in the day. Uh, they just did. But you can run on that. But then what we talked about here, once you run on that and you get in office, all what you can do then is make excuses about the Senate and the House. Right? We just saw that the Republicans won the House, and the question was, well, who had it before that? Why, if the Democrats had it before that, why the fuck did Joe Biden not get none of this shit done that while he was in office? What the fuck did he do? He didn't do anything. But when you get into that office, all you gotta do is make the argument that, well, I don't control the House. They vote against me, and you can start talking like that. If we, the people, really want universal health care, we will stop working. It's just very simple how you can get this done. Stop working. When them bitches come ask you, well, why the fuck ain't y'all at work? Y'all ain't got universal health care. We ain't working no more. We done with this shit. Yeah, we ain't fucking with y'all no more. We tired of asking. Goddamn, it's some bullshit, right? It's some bullshit. We keep asking, y'all keep playing. So we're not going to play this game with y'all no more. We just gonna stop working, right? That's where I think our power lies. I don't think there's anything to voting at all, especially when they allowed electoral college. Like Donald Trump could have lost the popular vote to Kamala, like he did to Hillary, and then electoral college still wanted him to be president. He would have been the president. Doesn't matter. I think he won all seven swing states. Not saying he didn't win them legitimately or whatever, but what I'm saying is that the electoral college makes those decisions, and we don't even know who the fuck these people are. We don't vote for those people. We don't vote for them people at all. We don't choose them people at all. I don't know who the fuck choosing them. I don't know how they even get. I know they're appointed, but I don't know what the process is fully. Like I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know at all. Richie Rich says, "What do you think about migrants receiving $3,500 a month?" Absolutely not. I think nothing about that. I think if I was a migrant, I would love to receive $3,500. I think if the migrants were stealing $3,500, it'd be an issue. But when they're being given $3,500, then I shrug. Because let them bitches start saying, hey, anybody last name Perkins, come up here and get $3,500. Guess where I'm going? To get my $3,500. I cannot feel a way about the people getting free handouts. I think that's one of the Jedi mind tricks. They don't work on us. Them bitches will give them people money in our face. No, we gonna get mad at not the system. We'll get mad at the people that's receiving the shit, and then we'll make them our enemies. It's the dumbest shit I ever seen in my life. Well, it's not. So let me go back. That was a little dramatic. Okay. It's dumb, but I see so much dumb shit. I can't say the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. But that's weird to me. That's odd to me. Because if them bitches start giving me money, I wouldn't give a fuck how none of y'all feel. I'm going to get it. You can believe that? Now imagine, let's put this thing over. If they would have started giving reparations to black people, you know white folk gonna be mad. But they're gonna be mad at us. Right? Black people always getting free handouts, whatever the fuck they will come up with to say, they'll be mad at us. But I mean, one is a debt owed. Let's just be fair about reparations. This might be a little bit of it's a different type of argument because reparations is a debt owed to black people, descendants of slaves. So that's a little bit different. So I can't say reparations. I won't put reparations out there like that because it's not on the same playing field. But the point still remains. If migrants are receiving $3,500 from the government, being given $3,500, I don't give a fuck because I watch this country do stuff with money that I don't agree with all the time. So, I mean, what's different? The migrants, I'm more against giving, let's say, Israel billions of dollars, Ukraine millions and billions of dollars. I'm more against that than I am migrants getting $3,500. And I know that it doesn't matter what I'm against; they're gonna keep giving the money no matter what. So why then be mad at the migrants? I'm not mad. It don't make sense for me, in my opinion, anyway. It don't make sense. Why am I gonna be mad? Straight, I just said this. Somebody says Flint water is still fucked up and black folks are still getting poisoned and dying because to this day, because of it to this day, and under good old Obama, under good old Obama's watch, the supposed first black president. Let me tell you something. Obama went up there. Let me tell you how diabolical Obama is. Obama went up there at the time and fake drunk that water. this nigga, this nigga fake drunk the water. He told everybody shit was cool. He fake drunk the water. He's friends with the governor up there in Michigan, which is the fucking white man. Of course, Obama's friends with white man. Look at how he treats George. Look at how Obama treats, like how he treated Joe Biden, how he treats George Bush, the young boy Bush, how Michelle Obama treats young boy Bush. He be basically tongue kissing that bitch in the mouth, and Obama don't say nothing. So I don't know whether it's part of the contract, like cuckold type. I don't know whatever the fuck they be doing. But Obama is not a real nigga. I don't give a fuck if he was the first black president or whatever the fuck he's supposed to be. He was not the first real nigga nowhere. He not a real nigga. He not real at all to me. He went up there and fake drunk that water. And he know damn well that was out there poisoning black children. If he gave a fuck, he would have galvanized his entire fucking system to do something to fix that water or did something himself. He did not. He went there and fake drunk the water and said it was okay. I said, if y'all niggas don't think that's a problem, if y'all don't think that's a problem, and people still listen to Obama, y'all let this motherfucker come out here and tell y'all that you got a problem seeing a woman run. You let him shame you with that, like, bitch, nigga, didn't you go up there and drink that fucking water like it was clean? You don't get to fucking talk to me until you do something about that, nigga. But we let them people come out here and talk to us any old type of way. Like, even Michelle Obama, like, bitch, shut up talking to us about anything. It was on your husband's watch that Flint water got fucked up. The governor did not go to prison, do any prison time, and it's still fucked up to this day. Shut the fuck up talking to us. Those are black people. Had they been white people majority, that wouldn't be the issue. Can we deal with that? But see, we allow for people to come out here and talk to us any old type of way. Because we look at Obama's are celebrities now. They were celebrities immediately, but they really in that place of celebrity. Now that he's out of office, he could be out here doing a number because nigga argument. Well, when he was in office, he couldn't do much. That was a lie. Anyway, he had Democratic House the second time he ran, didn't do shit for black folk at all. But we'll move on. Now that you're out of office completely, he could be bringing awareness to several things. He does not. You don't get to come talk to me because Kamala running and tell me that I'm some type of fucking misogynist. I don't want to see a woman running. You don't get to fucking talk to me like that, nigga. Our kids are up there drinking poison water and you said it was clean, nigga. Fuck you talking about? But no, we don't want to. We don't want to deal with this shit for real. We don't want to deal with that shit for real in any type of way whatsoever. Obama can't talk to me. That bitch ass nigga can't say nothing to me at all. His wife can't shame me. Like, that bitch can't talk to me about nothing. I know what Obama did. I know what shit he signed into legislation. You can't talk to me at all because Michelle Obama was a part of that shit. She made that shit hot for him. She made it hot. Her being over trying to transform school lunches all across the country so kids can have more of a nutritious meal while her husband signed the Monsanto Protection Act. Get the fuck out of here. Both of you motherfuckers don't get to talk to me. Neither one of them can talk to me. You see what I'm saying? Reels one says, Rob, what's your opinion on people who try to shame you on not voting by bringing up the ancestors? Well, to those people and to that argument, I ask those people, and I think this is where you should always start with these people, that one, our ancestors didn't die for the right to vote. They were murdered because white people felt as though that if black people had the right to vote, that would put us on an equal playing field. It was never about the power of the vote or the vote even really mattering, really. It was all about keeping us weak and disenfranchised on every level. That's what it's all about. To them, that's exactly what it's all about. It was never really about the voting itself. It was about black people wanting to be on equal footing with and having the same political sway that they thought it was at the time. That's what it's about. But I tell those people that our ancestors were murdered for the right to vote. They were. They didn't know any better. Here we are in so-called 2024, about to be 2025. Here we are. And now we know the truth. We are living in the age of information. So now we know that they shouldn't have been really riding that hard for no right to vote. They shouldn't have been even been doing all that shit. They shouldn't have been, but they didn't know any better. They thought that shit was going to be a path to black liberation. But there is no path to black liberation via politics. I don't care how you slice it up. I don't care what you talking about, local, state, all this shit that niggas like to try to be. Well, yeah, if you just think about the local level and then in the state, then that's when you really can see. No, no, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You name me a place where black people are just out here flourishing because of some votes that we done did. It's just not happening. Our people still are the number one people in prison, in the prison system, still get locked out of institutions because of the color of our skin, get mistreated because of the color of our skin. I I mean, again, we got black judges, black governors, black men, we got all this type of shit. That voting thing was an illusion. It was an illusion of power, right? Almost like there was an illusion of power when integration was an illusion of power. We just wanted to be where they was at. We thought that was real shit. We thought that mattered. But now, again, when you can look back and see it, no, that didn't matter as much as we think it did. It really didn't fucking matter. But we just always have wanted equal opportunity. We always have wanted us ourselves to be treated humanely. So after you tell them people that's trying to shame you to get the fuck out of your face, because they're voting into a system that is ran by the very people that was doing the murdering of our ancestors. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so here, let me get this straight. You're saying go into this system that was responsible for the murdering of. Nobody was going to prison for the murdering of our that our ancestors actually went through at all. One of the bigger names I think of is Medgar Evers, who was out here trying to get black people registered to vote. Medgar Evers gunned down, and that was just okay. It was just a cool thing to happen, right? So that same system, you want me to vote, even though the system hasn't changed, it hasn't upgraded, it hasn't become more of a democracy. It hasn't did anything to make that system actually benefit the people, but you want me to go vote into it because the same people who murdered my ancestors are in there telling me to go vote. That don't even make no goddamn sense. It sounds like a goddamn riddle of some kind. Like some of y'all might have been in school, a brain teaser. That don't even make no sense. This same government, this same anti-black government, and we still don't know who the fucking electoral college is. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. That I wouldn't. I would try to. I ain't saying cuss people out, but like get out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Richie Rich says not mad at the migrants, mad at the people in office not taking care of Americans first. That's it. Well, see, I don't have an American first mindset. That's where we gonna differ. I'm not a patriot that way. I don't give a fuck about America first. Not gonna lie to you, mama. Not gonna lie to you at all. We don't share in the same mindset. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I really, really don't. And when American people, if they actually felt some type of way, again, I'm gonna go back to labor now. This gonna be. I'm telling you where your power is. If we actually felt some type of way about the government giving that to non-Americans, then we stop working. We just stop working. Now, Donald Trump, I mean, again, he gonna come in here and deport people, send them back, to wherever they came from. That's not gonna change anything for our people. It's just not. It's not gonna change anything for American people. It'd be something that he can say he did. It could be something that his base would like. They like seeing people get mistreated and fucked over. They like that type of shit. So whatever system he gonna come into to kick him out of the country, that'll be something he's like, look, I did what I said I was gonna do. But I guarantee you the lives of the people in this country, the working class people, not gonna change. That hasn't been what's taking place here. It hasn't been something that's taking place in this country at all because working class people be forgetting that we are working class people. Everybody want to act like they entrepreneurs, or everybody want to act like they are six-figure earners all up online on the internet and shit. So we do a whole lot of faking to act like we have money that we don't really have, and thus the working class people continue to suffer. Continue to suffer. We'll think that working two jobs is normal. Bitch, if you ain't working two jobs, then you lazy. Right? If you're not working two jobs to make ends meet, then you just a goddamn lazy motherfucker. All you got is one job? What the fuck? What the fuck wrong with you? Right? If we start looking at the thing as a whole, I would say the country, they don't give a fuck about Americans first. They don't care about Americans first. And there's nothing, migrants getting kicked out of this country ain't gonna make them start caring about America first. That's never been a thing, ever. They care about corporations first. And until we call them out on that, there's no point in talking about America, in my opinion, anyway. If you're not gonna call them out on the corporations that they put first, the rich that they put first, that's who they put first. That's who runs the fucking government. So if we're not gonna call them out on that, I think us moving to migrants and whatever they're doing for migrants, that's not what's killed. The defense fund and the money that we send over to support wars, that's where most of the money goes in the whole I would be the deficit. That's where most of it goes. Most of it goes to that. I'm just saying. This is a fair argument. Jarvis says our ancestors died for the right to vote strictly Democrat is how these niggas act. That's a fair argument because they did not get murdered. We gotta stop saying died. Our ancestors were murdered, y'all. Murdered, murdered, murdered. We gonna have to start taking our not only our ancestors but our history more serious and using the right terminology, just like like the so-called Jews do. We don't take our shit seriously, and part of that seriousness is using our words properly. Our ancestors did not die of old age for the right to vote. They were murdered by racist white people who did not want to see us on equal footing. That may be more to say. It doesn't matter. We can't just keep saying they died. That makes it seem like strokes and heart attacks might have been taking place in sometimes. You see what I'm saying? They were murdered. And we're gonna have to say it like that. Emphatically, we're gonna have to say it like that. Nobody else would make it like, well, those people died on those concentration camps. No. A so-called Jew is not about to hear you say, listen, well, they ain't just no fucking die. They were murdered on those concentration camps by a Hitler, which is another mistake that I feel like the Democrats made when they kept comparing Donald Trump to Hitler. What the fuck? It's like that does not. When they think that, here's how I know people don't understand. They thought that by sitting around calling Donald Trump Hitler, that would somehow make people, and particularly white people, not vote for him. Huh? That don't make no sense. Hitler's one of the most famous racists. I mean, in the world. I mean, he shouldn't be, but we know how they've done this. It should be really King Leopold by far outdoes Hitler, but that's neither here nor there. But Hitler making him one of the most famous racists in the world, right? And then Donald Trump calling him Hitler would make his white racist base be like, yeah, like they ain't about to be disgusted by that. I don't know what the fuck. Again, I don't think Democrats I don't think they understand. I really don't. But they was running around calling Donald Trump Hitler. But we do have to make sure we use our words right. But you're absolutely right. Our ancestors were murdered for the right to vote either way, whatever way they want to, whether you Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever the fuck you want to do. They were murdered for the right to choose. And that part of that choosing as well is choosing not to. You don't vote, ain't nobody come beating on your door and putting you in no fucking handcuffs and walking you down to no vote ballot booth. They're not doing you like that. You have a right to completely disconnect from the system. There are 40 million registered Democrats, roughly 40 million registered Democrats. There are about 35 million registered Republicans. That's not the entire population. It's less Republicans, but the Republicans ride together. Now, they're anti-blackness, anti-poor people. They ride together. Okay? They're going to stick together. They got that in the bag for them versus Democrats who get into these moral arguments and these weirdo shit like, you want me to say that a man is a woman, bitch? No. Okay, I'm not doing that. And that was the other one of the key point issues that Trump won on is that, yeah, y'all men ain't about to play in women's sports. even if it's something trivial, to the people who are Republicans, that's a big deal. Because the Democrats been saying, well, no, it's okay. We'll let that shit ride. You know, ain't no big deal. They let Bruce Jenner win Woman of the Year in 2015. Bruce Jenner was on the cover of a magazine as Woman of the Year in front of everybody's face, dick, balls, and all. Woman of the Year. I mean, that pissed people off. You know what I'm saying? Like that pissed people off, especially his base were white vote. The so-called, they call themselves Christians and all this old shit, like the lie about being, you know, lie about being a Christian nation, and they just racist as fuck. Like it just doesn't. Maybe I mean let me stop before I get ahead of myself, because maybe that is the Christian values that they've been taught, is to be anti-black. I can see the Bible supporting that, because it did support slavery, of course. It did tell the slaves how to adore their slave master. So okay, that does line up with Christianity. So let me not get too far ahead of myself, but the values of, I guess, giving and caring about the all people and all that shit, like no, that's a facade. That's a whole facade. Christianity ain't built on that. Not for real. It's not built on that for real in any type of way whatsoever. It's not. It's just not. David L says, "Do you feel like Trump would do a better job than Kamala would have?" No, I don't think either one of them would do a quote unquote good job. Or we have to define what a good job as president is, because again, all of what I've studied, I haven't seen nobody do a good job where the entire nation flourishes. Somebody's always left out. That's the rule of capitalism. So, long as this country is ran as a corporation, this is America Incorporated, 3Ks, Incorporated, then what is a good job? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is a better job or a good job? What does that even mean for a president on a presidential level? I don't know what it means. To be honest with you, I don't even know if it's been defined. Even when I hear, you know, political pundits talk about good presidents, and I'm like, good to who? To what people? I think it should be a very specific question. Good to who? Can't be talking about black folk ever. That ain't. I don't know a president that's been good to black folk. Not never. So good to who? Even as Donald Trump runs his "Make America Great Again," what the fuck does that even mean? What are you talking about? The 50s? When y'all were giving white folk home loans left and right, and them bitches didn't even have to have money like that. When y'all were leaning towards into your whiteness, is that when it was great? I mean, that has to be when it was great. Because when the fuck has this shit been great? Because when I think of something that's great, it means it's great for all the people. We ain't had no great time in this country across the board. And I ain't talking about just black people, even the poor whites, and even though they don't care, but there ain't been no great. This shit is fucked up, and the rich keep getting richer the whole time, right? So I don't believe that Kamala would have done a better job than Trump at all. I think both of them will go in there and do whatever the fuck they're gonna do, and that's it. Engage in whatever type of wars they feel like are relevant, whatever we can go loot and plunder and steal from a country. You know, that's really all presidents really do, is just press the button. That's really it. They don't really do much else, if you ask me. They just press the button, tell us who to go fight, or tell the military who to go fight. And that's really about it. And gas prices go up and down. Food prices go up and down. I mean, we study historically. We'll have to look at that shit. Stuff go up and down. I don't think anybody's doing a great job. I don't think that's happening. And particularly if you're black. And particularly if you're black. Mike Lauren says, I think some people are just too emotionally attached to voting. I absolutely agree with that. That plus it's basically a tradition at this point, and black people ain't betraying no tradition. Those are facts. That's most definitely a fact. Um, you know, the things that we view as traditions and not question whether those traditions mean us good or not. We don't think about in that way, because some traditions just aren't worth a fuck for us. I mean, whether we think they're traditions or not, whether we look at them as traditions or not, they're just not good for us as a people. They're just not. and we refuse to push shit down because then it's the same. It's almost in the same vein of what we do with holidays. We'll start blaming our kids for why we got to celebrate holidays. We're gonna find a way to justify some bullshit. We put voting on our ancestors and holidays on our kids. It just don't matter. It does. It just doesn't matter at all. So, but you are right about that, most definitely. Deshaun Williams says some of the working class voted for him because they believe he'll lower the cost of everything. I know they did believe that. And when he doesn't, here's a here's a here's a funny, crazy part about people that vote. When he doesn't, they'll make excuses as to why he can't. That's the beauty of being a president in that way. They'll make excuses as to why he can't. All he got to do is go in there and lower two things. Everything else can stay up. Like we feel it like that. He can go in there and lower eggs and milk and everything else can stay up. It's okay. Everything else can stay up and it'll be okay. But working class people, they're gonna see. They're going to learn. They're going to hopefully understand by the end of his presidency. I'm sure they're going to be, looking around like, okay, what the fuck just happened here? And then we got to think about the presidency as a place where they have a bunch of advisors and people telling them what to do or giving them would be suggestions. Of course, they have big oil on line one, big farm on line two, big bank on line three. Like it's just, it's not a real position of where I can say somebody doing good or bad or what's really like this shit it's just not real, yo. It's just not real. Florida Rail says, Rob, what are your thoughts on this 4B movement these cave holes are doing? I support that shit to the fullest. Now, for those of you that don't know, basically the 4B movement is women that are basically abstaining or staying away from, not fucking with, not having sex with, dating, or dealing with men. Okay? Now, I do believe white bitches do have a gripe here. They can actually leverage. I saw that Nick Fuentes, the racist cave, was out here saying that um, their body, my choice. I think he turned it into something that kind of went viral. White men have no respect for their hoes. Okay. Now, throughout this, because this is a multi-layered situation. So let me try to hit at least one of the main points. And I want people to understand this. Throughout this internet age, what black people have done is that act like white people are, or white men in particular, are the greatest mates on planet Earth. If you can get you a white man, then you have somebody who loves women, who will honor women, who won't cheat on women, who will treat the woman like she is a queen. This is a lie. Not only before they came out in reverse row on these hoes, not only before Nick Fuentes would say "my body, their choice." This goes all the way back to the suffrage movement. They wouldn't even let their mamas vote. So when you look at the white man's treatment of his woman, and I would argue that some black men have taken the same, what they would deem patriarchal mindset upon himself as well, because everything white people do, we do it the very same thing. We just do it in blackface. It's the same shit. But that same mentality that he has about his woman, to me, justifies these white hoes. They should lock their pussy up when the motherfuckers overturn Roe. If they really wanted these motherfuckers to do something about it, they should lock their pussy down then. But one thing about these white hoes is no matter how bad that motherfucker treat them, no matter how bad the white man is to them, they're gonna ride with that motherfucker. You can tell by their voting patterns. You can tell by them voting for Republicans. That bitch don't care how she's treated at all. The white man can treat her any old type of way, and then y'all will come out here and act like the white man is the greatest, most romantic. He'd be marrying these hoes, so he's better than every other man on earth because he marry hoes. Okay. What is the truth about the white man is he could give a fuck less about the white woman. And he never has. That's where the feminist movement came from. It was some white women feeling a way about their men treating them away. Now, what I will say about this 4B movement is that if black women get on the same bandwagon, they will allow themselves to be led into some bullshit the same way the white bitches led them into the feminist movement against the white man. Let them white bitches do their little thing with their white sons, fathers, brothers. Let them do their thing. They should cut them off. Don't give them no pussy or whatever the fuck they feel like they're gonna do. Which I don't believe these hoes gonna follow through it with it. I actually know that it came from a movement out of South Korea, where South Korean hoes was like, look, I'm not gonna give you none of this pussy no more. Right? Y'all don't treat us right. Y'all treat us like we're second and third class citizens. So that really actually was a movement that came out of Korean hoes was doing it. Cause you know, North Korea and South Korea, if you look at some of the rules they got for they bitches over there, it's out of control, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really out of control the way they act towards their women. But that started with them trying to stand up for themselves because they can't fight them, so they could just not fuck them. Now, I would argue that the way that some of these men out here act, and that if white women start acting like that, I think what we'll see from the white man, because he has always been a serial rapist, is I think that more women will start being raped. So the white man is not above raping his own women. Matter of fact, they are his favorite women to rape, regardless of how racist he is. When he starts wanting to rape and murder, he chooses his own woman. Ain't that something? Now, I'm not saying that's not uncommon for men in other ethnic groups. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is it's very interesting that them bitches be racist as fuck, but when it comes time to kill and rape, they're gonna choose their own. They're gonna choose their own every time. They're gonna rape their own women. But I don't think that there is any. I don't think it's gonna pick up steam. But if it does, hey, support them hoes. Let them go out there and treat the white man like what he is. The white man is the cause of all of their problems. Like, let them go deal with them. You know what I'm saying? I hope black women sit this one out because they convinced y'all that black men was the cause of y'all's problems back in the feminist movement. I hope y'all done wisened up by now. We ain't out here doing shit. We ain't out here doing shit. It's the white man and his mama who stays by his side no matter what. So I don't know if this movement is going to pick up steam. We got to look at the voting patterns for these white women, and they're going to stand by their men regardless of how they're treated. This is how a lot of them, when they talk about marriage, this is how a lot of them stay married. That's how a lot of them stay married. That's why they get married and stay married. So they will let that white man run off. And while y'all black women out here talking about what all y'all won't put up with, and y'all let these white bitches tell y'all what they won't put up with, even though they do, they've been misleading our people for a long time now. And we need to quit falling for that bullshit. We need to quit falling for this bullshit. We need to quit falling for that. Real shit. It doesn't make any sense. They've been able to they've been able to trick and make the white man this nigga is Romeo. You know what I'm saying? You slide through like Romeo and shit. Like, that motherfucker just be sliding through, loving all these hoes, loving all his hoes in particular, and loving as a better choice for all women of other races. The better choice for them is to be with a white man. This is how powerful the propaganda has been. Like, and that motherfucker don't give a fuck about bitches at all, and still he's able to. It's very impressive. It's very impressive what he's been able to do. It's very impressive. Florida Rail says, I'm worried that BS will migrate into the community. I ain't worried. Don't be worried, my nigga. Don't do that. If black women decide to act like that and decide to say, well, hey, I'm locking this pussy down, don't be worried about that. Don't you worry about that. That may be a small group of women act like that, but come on now. We live in the real world. Every woman ain't about the fact that we believe that we are the ones that just want sex so much and women is out here like just, not really wanting dick like that. Like, that's not. I can understand Korean bitches being able to do that shit. Them little hoes and their little men. Like, okay, I get them. I understand that, but and I even understand somewhat the white bitch, but I don't think she can even do it. I really don't. But the fact that women overall have been able to kind of tap into this whole, well, they can just do without dick. That's just not. That doesn't match up to what I've observed in real life. I'll just say that. Even if there's a small group of what I would argue probably not that attractive black women that may be like, well, I'm locking this pussy up anyway when nobody was fucking her anyway. Like, it'll be them on the front line. Like, yeah, like, ma'am, nobody was fucking with you anyway. So, I mean, who you fooling? Stop this. You need to stop playing these fucking games. Like, nobody rushing to that pussy anyway. Okay. But if I was you, brother, don't worry. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that at all. If some black women decide they don't want to fuck with niggas, I can guarantee you that all you'll hear is a collective sigh of relief from niggas. Cause them hoes, them ones that will fall for that type of bullshit, they making some niggas head hurt right now as we speak. They making some niggas head hurt right now as we speak. It'll be them ones that already getting on folk nerves and shit. You ain't got to worry. Like it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Don't worry, brother. The ones that will participate in that shit or will be the idiots. It will be the idiots, and that's okay. You shouldn't be wanting to bust down an idiot anyway, right? You shouldn't be wanting to do that anyway. So maybe we'll tighten our shit up. We'll tighten our shit up and we'll be more selective. Like if you falling for propaganda of all forms, you don't get this dick. If you can't see the big picture, if you're gonna run around here acting like you can't see and understand the government, politics, how this shit work, understand how religion is used as a tool against us as a people, like you, you shouldn't be getting, they shouldn't be getting dick like that anymore. Now, men don't have to discipline. Like, we don't even have to discipline to suggest. So like, maybe we should hold our dicks back. Like we terrible. It's bad. We're not going to even think to do like that. No. Let's come up with something else like that. we're not about to, we're not about to write pussy y'all. We just not going to do it. We could have easily said, okay, if y'all say y'all not going to fuck with niggas that don't vote or fuck with niggas for whatever reason, okay, we'll come up with our own set of rules too. Like niggas ain't, we we ain't even strong enough to say it. Like we should be. Like, bitch, I don't fuck with coons no more. I'm done with that. Coons end up being sheep, and sheep end up getting everybody into a compromised situation. So no, we're not doing it, right? But that's not how, but that's not shit. We know that. We know that. We understand that. I'm hoping at some point we do start looking at our relationships for what they are and start building our relationships on black pride. Because right now they're not built on shit, and people wondering why black men women not staying together. Well, because we don't have a common interest. We don't have a common mentality. That's one of the main reasons, if you ask me, we don't have a common mentality. Everybody's just talking about money now. Capitalism done took over people's romances and took over people's soul at the core of our souls. Capitalism is everything. Everything is transactional now. You see. Our culture, our love, if we're gonna call it black love, then that black should mean something outside of just your skin color. That should be a whole ideology that comes with black love. If we're gonna specify it that way, because we doing a hashtag black love shit. Well, to me, it should mean more than two black people quote unquote loving each other or whatever the fuck. Black should mean something. If you're gonna specify black love, then that black should come with an entire identity. That black should come with an entire system or culture in place that's built on black pride, and it doesn't. Right now, it's just white love in black face. That's all it is. It's white love in black face. That's literally all it is. That's all it is to it. And I hate to say that, but that's just that. It just is what it is. We're gonna have to. And again, I don't know if this Trump winning and things that he's talking about doing, if that's gonna, like defunding the Department of Education. I don't know. That to me should get the teachers. They should be getting together and figuring out what the fuck they're gonna do about that. Um, you know, everything that he could possibly do, we could fight as a people. We could fight it as a people. Do we have the courage to do that? Is the part that is, I don't have faith in courage. That's where we lacking is in courage. It's not numbers. I mean, we know working class people, and this is of whatever race, not just black at this point. Whatever race, we got the numbers. If you just go Democrats got the numbers. So it's not a numbers issue. So it has to be a courage issue. It gotta be. It's just fear. Fear. It works. And that's why they keep using it. That's why it keeps being successful. Fear works. We got the numbers. I mean, whether you're dealing with, like I said, just working class people, if you want to do just the Democrats, the numbers are there to fight everything that Donald Trump could possibly want to do. All we got to do is say no, right? Just so you know, they taught y'all that shit in elementary school. It was about drugs and shit, which I'm not saying it's not a relevant argument for drugs. Y'all need to leave crack and other forms of crack alone, right? But we could just say no to policies that we see that we don't agree with either. We just don't feel like we can. And I think that is crazy that we don't even try. We won't even make the attempt to fight back against it. We'll act like we just have to be victims of it and go pray and cry somewhere. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Ronald says no more Social Security. The only way there will be no more Social Security is if we allow it. I don't think. I'm gonna tell y'all something because I've been talking in this vein for many. I think I say many years. I mean, there's been at least a decade, right? I don't think we understand. The only way there could be no more Social Security is if we allow it to be no more Social Security. That's the only way. Is that he passed a bill to end Social Security and we keep going to work. That's the only way that comes into fruition. That's the only way that stays a law. That's the only way that happens. That's not just Trump. That's any president. If they doing some shit or they doing some fucked up shit, and we don't fuck with it, all we gotta do is stop. Just don't go to work. Get enough people. I mean, again, it should be 40 million people against Trump right now. That's a large number. If even just 40 million people did it, 40 million registered Democrats. I'm not a Democrat, but hell, I ride with the working class. I mean, you don't have to be a Democrat to do this, right? All right. So you got 40 million and one. Okay, here come me, right? I'm with y'all. I'm with that shit, right? If you're able to do that, then they can't just do stuff. And we don't have to just take everything. And you don't even have to go run up on no Capitol or do no crazy shit, pull no guns. Like, you ain't got to do nothing. Stop going to work. Stop working. Stop working. Trump plans to defund the Department of Education. Teachers, stop working. Not it's not. I think we've overcomplicated this. We've overcomplicated power. I think we have. I do think there are many barriers that stop us from coming together as a working class as one. And I'm going to blame the poor working class whites. They are the problem. They are our ops, very specifically. They are our ops. But we have overcomplicated this thing. That's what we've done as a people. We've made it deep, and our cowardice, us being cowards, is what keeps us from doing anything about it. That's what we did. There's no way he can get rid of Social Security unless we allow it. He can't do anything unless we allow it. That's why I'm not worried about anything. I'm not concerned because what I believe is if shit gets bad enough, people gonna have to come to and understand what I've been saying for a decade now. And that was before Donald Trump was even thought of. Just before him. I've been saying this shit. Before him, it was rough. People act like it's just rough now. It just got bad yesterday, like the last year or these over Biden's presidency. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. That's an illusion we done fed ourselves to keep ourselves plugged into the system to maybe, well, we need to just change the guard. We need to change the people, shuffle this shit around, remix it a little bit. No, no. This shit been fucked up for working class people. It's been fucked up. None of this shit makes sense. You working that goddamn hard. None of it makes sense. So whatever Donald Trump does that people have such a big issue with, we'll fight back against it, not only verbally, but with our labor. That's what I believe is a successful uh, model for power. Again, this is just it's what I believe, but I think that's what we should be doing. Okay. It's not as complicated as these people get on these TV shows and try to make it seem like it is. It's just not. The one thing you never hear them talking about is boycotting with your labor. They won't even get on TV and say that because they know. If people fuck around today, it's a wrap. It is over. So they would rather instead come to the polls and vote. Come to the polls and vote. Vote in your midterms. Vote in your this. Vote in your that. Vote in it. They wouldn't be screaming something for the mountaintop that actually gave you power. That's just not how the system works. They're not going to tell you to come do something that gives you power. They're not. That's why you ain't never heard them bitches say nothing about boycotting with your damn labor. And you never will. They'll say all types of other shit. Okay? All types of other methods. Most of it involves voting. This how you should know there's no power in that shit, really. There's no power in this. So once we understand where our power is, and instead of crying, complaining, acting like black men are just misogynists and they just don't know, we just hate black women, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This system is going to keep operating the way it does until the people decide, instead of going to vote and getting a stupid ass sticker, that they're not going to go to work for a system that continues to keep you in a state of basically you're working poor. You ain't got no damn savings. You ain't got $20,000 in your fucking bank account right now. I mean, I get this is, I ain't saying everybody, I ain't saying some people don't, but by and large, that's not what's happening. It don't matter if you make six figures. That used to be a thing that actually mattered. That don't matter no more. You need to be making not just they just blanket statement six figures. That's $100,000. I would figure to live comfortably right now, you need to be making 150 to $200,000 a year. That's to live comfortably. At least that, right? It ain't never been okay. Like it ain't been okay for working class people. Uh, Again, when was America great? When? Because this country focused so heavily on the middle class. That's been a flaw. Nobody wants to call it out. Nobody wants to say anything about it. This country has focused so much on the middle class. What the fuck does that even mean? The middle class ain't doing all the work. They're not. This workforce is not made up of the middle class. That's not how this shit ever, it's never been like that. So it's just, we gotta stop allowing, like, again, the news media, the propaganda, the motherfuckers that will tell you wrestling is real. Like, no, it ain't. No, no, it's really real. Even though we done found out it's fake, like, no, wrestling is real. Like, this shit is real shit. That's the media. That's all of them. Fox, you may have your favorites. CNN, it don't matter. All of them are telling you wrestling is real. And you know it's not. Why aren't you offended by that? You should be offended. Because when they able to tell you wrestling is real, that means they're not going to give you real solutions. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to give you real solutions because they promoting the bullshit, promoting the illusion, promoting the mirage. So they not gonna be able to give you real solutions to make real change out here. That's why you don't ever hear them bitches talking about boycotting with their labor. You never gonna hear that on no media. They're gonna tell you to go vote. Go vote in your midterms. Change your governor. That's gonna change your life. It's like governor ain't never put more money in your pocket in your life. They can't even do that. They can't lower gas prices. It's like it don't even make sense. But this is the stuff that they have made a truth. And there are other people that will come argue with you that this shit is real. A governor ain't doing shit about the cost of eggs, milk, gas. The governor ain't doing shit about none of that. Mayor, nobody doing nothing about none of that. They can't. That's not even in their purview. That's not even in their purview. They can't do that. They cannot improve your life at all. So again, I always ask, like, what the fuck am I voting for? Like, if I'm still gonna have to work, like, if I'm still gonna have to work a regular work week, in some countries they have them went down to a 4-day week. They actually are trying to show some love, but this is a very capitalist nation, so I don't see that happening unless we make it happen. But nonetheless, like, if I'm still gonna have to go to work and work the same, well, ain't nobody, not a black police chief, a black governor, a black mayor, they don't give a fuck about black people either. Like, so, like, what's the? I mean, again, I understand. You gotta think about people having the Napoleon complex, and we do kind of like shine people up. We'll shine up black governors and mayors because they dress nice. Remember they was doing Obama like that and Michelle? Look at her dress. Like, the fuck? What's wrong with us? Obama suits, his walk. Y'all niggas, like, I said, no, no, we not fully understanding. Oh, we don't understand. We just really, really don't. And we have to be honest about this shit. Black judges, black police chiefs, black sheriffs, black police officers. That stuff don't matter because there is no culture binding every single one of those people together at all. There is no culture there. It can't be your clothes. Y'all done made clothes and cool walks. Like, listen to rap music. Like, y'all done made it into like, this stuff don't matter at all, but that's what we done built this facade. I mean, pseudo culture. That's what the pseudo culture is built on: a swag and drip and a nice hairline or a sharp what's that shape up haircuts. And y'all niggas, I'm like, this is I'm being punished being here saying this shit. Like it's a punishment for me to know that this is what our culture is built on. A nigga's walk. Like, what? All she got to do is dress nice, and that's black girl magic. Like they can poison black folk water, but they dress nice, so that's I said, yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah. Until black people just, I don't know who we listen to. I don't know who influences us these days. I know it ain't me. Ain't nobody paying what the shit I got to say no attention, but somebody gonna have to get these niggas attention. And unless we come up with a culture that's built on black pride, black mayors, judges, police chiefs, lawyers, COs, doctors. It don't fucking matter unless there is a tie that binds all these people together. In other cultures, there's a tie that binds them together. The caves, for example, the doctor, the lawyer, the judge, the police chief, the sheriff, all anti-black. There's a string that binds them. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And we got to deal with that at some point. So look, I don't give a fuck if Trump is president. I've never gave a fuck who is president. Once I start learning, anyway, again, this is me learning and understanding how this shit works. I don't give a fuck who's in office. I know who I am. I know who I'm going to be throughout every presidency, no matter who comes in office. I know that if these motherfuckers run up on me on some bullshit, that I'm going to ride and die for what I believe in. It just is what it is. I'm gonna do both. I know he's gonna say ride or die. Well, I'll ride and die. It doesn't matter to me. I'll do both. I'm willing to do both for what I believe in. And that's not where we are because we're fucking cowards. Now, well, I'm not saying dying will be necessary. Not necessarily saying it'll be necessary, but when you niggas talking about getting put on plantations and putting back in slavery, I just don't understand how you get on a plantation alive. How you make it there? How they drop you off alive? That's what I'm saying. Like, can't nobody do nothing to me that I don't allow them to do. That's where I'm at in my mind. That's where I've grown in my power and what I believe power is. Can't nobody do shit to me that I don't like. Same attitude I took with that COVID shit. Can't nobody do shit to me that I don't like. So yeah, I don't want no shot. So there you go. I mean, I can't be forced to take a shot. They can't leverage my job against me. They can't do nothing to me. I already said no. So no matter what you come with, I've already said no. That's power. And we don't understand that yet. We think because they can put stipulations on stuff. That's the same way they did with that shot. I'll just take your goddamn job then, nigga. What you got to say now? And what niggas do? Oh, okay. God, I didn't know you were serious. Like, what? Then take my job, motherfucker. Fuck you talking about? That's a job you can have. The fuck you mean? This arrangement isn't fair or even. It's like, bitch, are you talking crazy? I don't care what you're talking about. I'm not changing my mind. That's power. And I don't think we fully understand power yet. And I don't know what it's going to take for us to understand power. I don't know if it's going to take Donald Trump coming out here doing some Project 2025 type shit to you niggas. I don't know what it's going to take. But I hope at some point we start to understand power and we begin to have more. serious conversations about our unity. I'm gonna tell you what I noticed. They have no issue with you niggas getting online hating each other every day. Even if you think you dropping truth bombs, like, oh shit, female nature, like the male nature. Oh shit, I'm telling you, they don't censor none of you motherfuckers for that bullshit. They don't care about that bullshit. The minute black people decide to talk about what our unity would do to this system, do for our people, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Right now, we are of no threat of any kind. All somebody gotta do is say, well, I'll pay one of these podcasters to come and create an argument about a 50-50, or create an argument about what you would do if your husband did A, B, C, D. What would you do for a husband? How you going, any of these conversations involving marriage, children, or money. All they got to do is get y'all to talking about that and you're done. And every once in a while, they'll send a Puff Daddy out here, right? They'll send a Puff out here to throw off the bullshit, or maybe get y'all to talk about that type of bullshit and what you would have done and all this old shit. Now I'm saying there's another woman. Gosh, she did some crazy shit with her daughter. I forgot what the fuck the girl's name is. Kilani, maybe. And if I'm saying that wrong, if I'm saying it wrong, I got the wrong name completely. That whole thing could be wrong, so don't even quote me on that. But she done did some wild shit with her daughters. Done come out in some court documents. She did some wild shit with her daughter, or allowed some wild shit to happen to her daughter. But that'll become the viral conversation, not black unity. Black unity is never a viral conversation. Never, not one time at all. At all. This goes back before this lifetime. I mean, this generation. You can go back. It's never been a quote unquote viral conversation in the community. Never. Not one time. And I don't understand why we don't, but y'all keep voting. Y'all keep voting. If that's what you feel like is a working plan. You want to keep voting. I can't hold you. Right. Sleepless nights. That's a very good point. Said, just look at how they took out our leaders. That's so sad that we only had that many leaders. Ain't that crazy? Those people that we call our leaders, and whatever mentality they might have had, that should be our culture. You can't take out a culture without wiping out the entire people, right? That's our problem, is the leaders. It's few in number. We need a culture change. We need to actually create a culture. You can't kill an entire culture without exterminating the people completely. That's the only way you kill culture. You can kill leaders. Leaders can be killed. You can't kill fucking culture. Can't do it. It's an impossible thing to do unless you wipe out a whole people. And they're not going to do that. That's our problem, is leaders. And we ain't had a culture shift yet. And I don't know, maybe again, I don't know if Trump will be enough. Again, niggas got online crying, acting like it was going to be just the, end of the world. But apparently it's not, because niggas still got a lot of time on their hands to talk about stupid ass relationship shit. And not even their own. They can talk about celebrities' relationships. Shit. People even now gotten so bad to where they will put up fake relationship scenarios and niggas will argue over fake shit. Like, it's not even, it's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. It can be some fake shit. I be reading some of this shit like, this ain't no real, like, this ain't real. But people will be arguing. I'm talking about all these shares, all these comments over a fake ass situation. And it's just, it's mind blowing to me. Mind blowing to me. And we refuse to disengage in that bullshit. If we really care, we really gonna be effective. You really feel like Donald Trump about to ruin your life, shouldn't your focus shift? Right? If the argument is they're about to focus on you and focus on making your life hard, shouldn't your focus shift as to what you're gonna do to stand up against them trying to make your life hard? It damn sure ain't gonna come out of no 50-50 conversation. It's just really not. Like, it's not going to. It's really not going to happen like that. So, again, to me, what we do next, I've been laying it out the entire, hell, for over an hour now, what I think we should be doing, what I believe about our culture, what I believe about voting. And I know no one, I ain't gonna say no one, but a lot of people ain't gonna really understand where I'm coming from. So shout out to the people that do. If you have been, um, rocking with me, understanding what I'm saying, put a B123 in the chat for me real quick before I get off because I am about to get off here, but I do want to see them B123s come out. I want to know who with me for real. Cause I feel like people be, you know, they may listen to what I have to say. But I don't give a fuck about rounds of applauses, standing ovations. I don't care about none of that shit. I want the type of energy I have for my blackness, for myself, for my people. I want that to be something that we internalize and stop cooning so goddamn much. Stop worshiping white folks so motherfucking much. Stop denying racism to make them feel better like we do. Like we need to take our history serious. We need to understand where we are, not be afraid of where we are, but just understand where you are. That doesn't have anything to do with fear. You know, if it's cold outside, you put a goddamn coat on, don't you? That's not because you're scared of the cold. It's because you know how to keep yourself insulated from the so the cold don't affect you so much. And that's what I feel like that's a matter of preparation, not fear. And I don't think we have the mentality or the courage right now to deal with this shit by any other means other than crying and bitching. And I want us to move past that. I really, really do. And I'm hoping that the things that I talk about are contagious. I hope you can see I've been consistent. I'm not like a bunch of these other motherfuckers. I ain't asking y'all for money or anything. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not trying to get rich off this shit at all. I really want to see our people change our mentality and stop letting these motherfuckers play in our face. So, I mean, so constant. Like it never fucking stops. It never stops. And we're going to be having this conversation again because it still has to be inaugurated in January. And how the country responds to that. I'm sure these white people are going to be out here really, really excited. Black people, stay calm. Do not panic. Fear not. Even your, religion tells you that. Fear not. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. What we have to do is build us a fucking culture. That's what we have to do. I think that's the task that we should be really, really focused on right now. I'm interested to see how as these next 4 years go down. I'm interested to see how we respond to that, or whether we're gonna still keep talking, worshiping celebrities and waiting on God, putting it in His hands. If we still gonna keep doing all the same shit we've been doing, or we gonna actually make a shift to a return to each other and embrace one another with our fucking fists up? Because that's what the image looks like to me. That's what our kids need to see. That's what our culture needs to be built on. Okay. Man, love to y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all spend this time with me. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I'll be back. Cause again, this is working. I mean, I don't have to have the greatest internet. I can just come off camera on here and talk to y'all. Y'all can at least hear my voice. Um, but so this is working for me. So I really appreciate y'all for coming spend this time with me. I will see y'all next time. Shout out to Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Like first, second, and third. I'm out.